Hey guys, so today I'm going to be showing you this rig for this character. I've called him Slobbert, like Robert, but Slobbert because he's just a slob. But yeah, as you can see, I've just animated this walk cycle, added some sound effects, and thrown in the background. I just kind of want to break down the rig and show you what I did with it. So let's get into it. So looking at the Moho file, project file, this is how it's laid out. We've got the background repeated. I drew the background in Photoshop and I made sure I had the symmetry tool on, so where it began, it kind of lined up where I repeated it, because I was planning on having the background obviously looping. As you can see with the animation here, if I was to not hide that, no. If I was to hide that, you can see the background kind of just, it will do that, and then when it gets to this last frame, it will repeat again. So it's on the loop. And yeah, so that works nicely. It gives me that seamless kind of look. And so if I open up the character now, we've got this character here. And I'll just hide the background for a second so you can see what's going on. And that front bush I've added as a separate element to give some depth. So here's the rig. Yeah, I was a bit lost of what to do with the body bones, because obviously the shape of him isn't very normal. It's slightly different. So I've gone with the root bone at the bottom, obviously down here is the target bone. If I just go into this frame, so we've got the root bone here. Oh, excuse me. We can do that. We've got the IK on the feet, so it allows me to kind of go up and down with it. And then I've got this bone which controls the main body rotation, not the leg, so just the body, and it has been parented to these points on the top of the legs, so it does kind of go with a little bit with the legs, if that makes sense. I'm not sure what other way I could have done this. I'm probably missing an obvious way, but it works, so I'm not really gonna play with too much. Then we've got this one here for this part of the body. You can see the arms kind of go with it. And then obviously the top part for the head, which gives a little bit of wriggle here too. It just gives a bit of fluidity to the character. Obviously you don't want to bend it too much, otherwise you start getting this kind of morphing going on, which isn't very nice, kind of ugly. But the arms, which are, these are actually, because I wasn't going to animate them, I've made these dynamic bones, which allows them to just kind of shake with the movement. So that's in the bone constraints. We've got the bone angle here. You can't really see it because of the way my screen recording set up, which is kind of not very handy. But at the top here, the bone constraints, there's a section down here which says bone dynamics, and then you just tick the angle box, and you can play with the settings there. So I've done that for these arms. The face, we've got the main face bone here, which we can rotate like so. The ears are also on the bone dynamics, so they just kind of bounce with the movement independently. It just gives a bit more life, I find. Okay, so the face, we've got the blinks, just for the eyes to close. That works nicely. Eyes to the left and the right, eyes up and down. And then we've got the brows, which can go up and they go down. So that works nicely. The brows is just a section on top like that. Just kind of covers the eyes nicely. And I also want to talk about the shadow we got here. So on top of the hole, it's not in the any kind of group, it's just on top of the main bone group. I've also put the arm above the shadow because I didn't want the shadow coming over the arm here. I want the arm to be separate to that because it looked odd for some reason, it didn't work. So I've got the shadow on top. It's just this big shape which is obviously masked to his body. If you go into the main bone settings here, Again, it's not coming up. There's a masking section that comes up. You can add that to that. And I've also, on that shadow layer, if you open up the settings to the layer by just double clicking on it again, a box comes up, and you can actually play with the blurring of it, so it gives it a slight blurring, which how I've got this effect here. And I've also set it to multiply in the blending options. Now, as for, we've got the feet bones here. Like I said, the IK is working on them nicely. We've got the feet that can be manipulated this way and that way for the stepping. Well, yeah. Excuse that barking outside, if you can hear that. And then these bones here, so on his this area, I don't know even know what you'd call this, to be honest with you, but yeah, on that area there, these are all dynamic bones, so it allows it to kind of just swing by itself. Same with the tail. If I can I select that? Yeah, you can see here. So yeah, these are all dynamic bones basically. Yeah. So that's the rig, guys. Of course, I've got the shadow underneath as well, which is just another separate layer, not part of the character, just underneath. Again, I've added the blur option to that as well. I haven't really animated the shadow. I could have probably added a little bit of transform to the shadow as he bounces up and down, but yeah, it works. It looks cool. I kind of drew this character the other night, and I thought it would be quite cool to animate him and bring him to life. So I did that, and yeah, this is the result I came up with. So I'll just play this out now, and you can see the final render afterwards too. You can see them bones working there, and then the background repeating. Obviously, the only thing that gets picked up is this camera view here. But I just got him blinking, looking down. His ears, you can see the ears bouncing. You can see these here just jiggling. I don't know what this is, but I just thought it was funny. But yeah, so yeah, I did that, rendered him out, and then brought him into the video editing software and added some footstep sounds just to give it a little bit more life. But I hope that kind of helps you guys, and you see how I've done certain things. And obviously I've set the walk cycle to a cycle here, and then everything else has been animated separate here outside the cycle, like the blinks, the looking away. Yeah, it's very, very cool how the software allows you to do that. But yeah, any questions, guys, add them in the comments. I will answer them, and I'll catch you in the next video. Cheers.